Yo, what up, players? It's your guy, Sister, back on the Minecraft. Welcome back. In this episode of the series, we are going to be building a mob grinder, and this is a mob grinder that I designed using the mob grinding utilities mod, Apotheosis, and the Creeper overhaul. Now, if you want to skip to the build or to the results of how productive this thing is, then you can go ahead and do so, but I'm going to do a little bit of explaining. The grinder produces diamonds, emeralds, raw iron, and gold. And the way this is going to work is we have spawners, which as a result of Apotheosis, you can change the spawner type with a spawner egg. And we are able to get spawner eggs as a result of the mob grinder mod. So we have mob swabs, and you can swab a mob. So you swab a cave creeper, which drop, like I said, the emerald, gold, diamond, and iron. And then you can craft this chicken feed using a bucket of the fluid XP from the mod, a seed of any type, and then a mob swab. And then you feed this chicken feed to one of these chickens, and then you will get an egg for that mob. So I then just silk touch, whatever spawners I had lying around, and then I right click on it, and I'm able to turn these into cave creeper mobs. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is enhance these spawners. So with the Apotheosis mod, it has a variety of enhancements that you can do. I recommend going for the Nether Star if you can afford it. It basically makes it so you don't have to be nearby, but if you don't have a Nether Star, that's completely fine, because you can use the Prismarine shards and you can max out the activation range to make it decently big so you don't have to be right up on it. The next thing you're going to want to get is gas tiers for the maximum entities. You don't have to max this out, but it is nice to have up there, so it increases the efficiency of your spawner. The spawn count is a really big one, so fermented spider eyes are a huge plus. Next is the sugar and the clocks, because those are the minimum and maximum spawn delay, and those are arguably one of the most important. Next up on the list, you're going to need some mob fans. Now, you don't have to use the mob fans. Like, for instance, if you're playing a mod pack that happens to have Apotheosis and the Creeper overhaul, but you don't have this, there's a million ways to kill mobs and to collect their loot, but the mob grinding utility just makes it really efficient, and it's really cheap to do so as well. So I use 2 mob fans. We'll use 4 distance upgrades in each, so 8 total, and then 3 width upgrades, so 6 total. And then some of these entity conveyors, and that'll just push the mobs where I want them. And then we use a couple of these mob mashers, and both of these are activated by a redstone signal. And then I use 10 looting upgrades and 10 sharpness upgrades. You could definitely get away with less sharpness, but I would recommend doing the looting, because it's going to increase the efficiency of the grinder altogether. And then lastly, for the collection of the items and the XP, I am using advanced collectors. Now, you could use hoppers, and you can use whatever other mod can pick up items. There's a ton of them that can. I prefer these item collectors for the items, and then I use the absorption hopper from mob grinding utilities for the XP, but you don't even have to collect the XP if you don't want to. Last thing I'm going to say is I am going to attach this to my ME system so that it automatically deposits all of my stuff where I want it to go, and it's going to auto smelt and do all that stuff that I want it to. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing I must mention, you have to do this at a certain Y level. So for these cave creepers to spawn, from the testing that I've done, it seems that they are happy around below 50. In one of my bases, they were spawning below 60, but another one, they wouldn't spawn until I got down to like 40s and 50s. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind if you're going to try to build this. So what I have here is a room that is 10 blocks long, including this drop down. So 9 blocks up here, 1 block down here, and then 14 blocks across, and then it's about 7 blocks high. So where these blocks are is where these spawners are going to go. First thing you're going to want to do is put your mob fans down, and like I said, these do require a redstone signal, so go around the back, and I recommend putting a lever or some sort of wireless redstone signal. In each, we're going to put 4 of those and 3 of the width, and we can show the area so we can see that it's going to perfectly push them off. Do the same right here. The next thing we're going to want to do is put our entity conveyors. So we're going to put a few right here. Oh, hi there. And we're going to put a few right here. Next, we're going to put a couple of these mob mashers. And then we'll go ahead and throw our upgrades in there as well. So the next thing we're going to set up is our item collection, and we'll put one of these advanced item collectors here, and we will filter it to do diamonds, emeralds, raw gold, and raw iron, and make sure you put this on whitelist because you want them to go into this chest. So I got this janky ME cable coming all the way down here, and then we will fit my import bus. So we will throw in some acceleration cards and then a capacity card so that we can fit all the items that we want. Next thing we're going to set up is our XP collection. I'm going to be using the absorption hopper for this. Then we will do a couple of tanks on every side that we can fit. And what you're going to want to do with the absorption hopper, because this also picks up items, is just fill it up with a filler block, because you don't want it to pick up any of your diamonds or any of the other trash, because it'll just get clogged up. And then I just turn these on for fluid. So whatever way I put it, it's going to deposit fluid into these. And these jumbo tanks hold a lot of XP, so this should just be plenty. The last thing we're going to set up is our trash cans. So the thing about the trash cans, you really want to be careful, because once you have your trash can set up with these item collectors, if you drop anything on the ground, it is just going to throw it away. If it's not something that's already within this filter, then it's just going to get thrown away. So what we'll do is we'll place 2 trash cans, and I'll do one of these on each. And if you need more room, you can increase these so that they pick up more space. Like for instance, if you didn't want to have it all clogged here, you could have all this stuff in the back tightly packed away, and it's still going to be able to pick up the stuff through the walls. And so here we're going to blacklist the diamond, the emerald, the gold, and the iron, because we want it to not pick up these items, and it's going to pick up everything that's not that. So whatever the other creepers are dropping, whether it be like they drop stone, they drop gunpowder obviously, and whatever else. So this should be everything to make our spawner functional. The last thing that we have to do is just give everything a redstone signal, so we'll go ahead and do that. I just went ahead and put a couple of levers on the back there, and then we will jump up and do the same thing for our mob fans. Just throw one of these on for that. One right there as well, and then we'll just give it a little test run. So the fans are on, it pushes you down, and then you fall onto this, and this does a decent amount of damage. Luckily I have like really good armor, so it's not going to touch me, but that should be it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this off, because I don't want anything to be falling out. And you're going to want to put a couple of blocks above it so they're not spawning on top of your spawners. And then I will drop this here, and I'll drop that there. And they are spawning like crazy, as you can see. And boom, you can already see we're filling up with XP. These are falling into the chest, and they're automatically getting deposited up. Let's go run over to my collection area, and I'll show you guys what I have set up there. So here's my little collection area we have. As you can see, all of the raw resources are going in there, and then they're instantly getting pulled out, because I have an automated system back here that's taking everything, doubling it, and then smelting it right up. As for the diamonds and the emeralds, they should just automatically be getting deposited into here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the spawner for a second. So I'm going to clear this all the way out, and then I will store this in a separate place, and then we'll give it maybe 30 minutes, and then we'll see how much it's produced. In the process of going to get everything sorted, I realized that I had jacked up the spawn range on my spawners way high. So they were actually spawning all over the place out here, which was a bit of a dilemma for a second. But we got it sorted. I would just advise that you make sure to have your spawn range be within the limits of your spawner, and also just go ahead and light up the outside, or just make sure that there's no open space out here, just in case. All right, everybody, it has been 30 minutes, and we have 3.4k diamonds, 4.1k emeralds, 13k iron, and 10k gold. And like I said, 30 minutes. And I still have 2 more spawners. From the single player testing that I didn't think that I wanted to use all 4 spawners, but I could easily have 16, 32, 64 spawners. Like, it's really not hard to do, and it is super efficient, cheap to do. It's a little bit overtuned, I'm not gonna lie. I think that it could use a little bit of a nerf, but in regards to like automated resources, like I don't ever have to mine those resources again. And then from the other mob grinder that I have, I get plenty of redstone and glowstone, which is great. Basically I have a setup here where I have 16 different 32 different patches. So of the dreadful dirt, and this force spawns mobs. They get pushed down. It's literally the same exact concept, except this does all mobs. I'm super satisfied. I think you guys saw just how easy it was for me to set that mob grinder up. It probably took me 30 minutes and like another like 20-30 minutes of crafting. Relatively cheap. The only thing you really need is iron and redstone. I don't think you need really anything else. And look at this. This is crazy. I'm big chillin'. I'm big chillin'. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. And once again, I will be making various tutorials on all the things that I'm doing. I'm gonna have an AE2 tutorial, really in depth, and then I'll have a apotheosis and mob grinding utilities and all that stuff, much more in depth at a later date. So keep a lookout for that, and I will catch you guys in the next video.